Ladies and gentlemen, it's Spoonerism time. Of course, you know what a Spoonerism is. Instead of saying ladies and gentlemen, you say gadies and gentlemen. This comical trait was named after the Oxford University minister William Archibald Spooner, who reputedly did this regularly. For example, he said, "The Lord is a shoving leopard," instead of, "The Lord is a loving shepherd." While Spoonerisms are commonly heard as slips of the tongue or getting one's words in a tangle, they can also be used intentionally as a play on words. And thus, we now offer you the story of Rindercella. Here is a tale to make your creche fleep. It will give you poos gimples. It's a story for fee woke and bigger teeple poo. That's wee folk and bigger people too. It's a story about Rindercella, who lived in a big hark douse with a mean old mepstother and two sisty ugglers. You see, they made Rindercella do all the wordy-dirk, while they just sat around cheating oglets and magging readazines. And one day when Rindercella was in the kitchen flopping the more, the two sisty ugglers came in and said, "Guess what? The Pransome Hints is blowing a big bancy fall, and we're invited. It's too bad you can't go." So Rindercella went back into the kitchen with ears in her ties, and she was just about to chickasee a frickin' when suddenly there was a blinding blash of light, and standing before her was a feudable berry. And Rindercella said, "Who are you and what do you want?" And the feudable berry said, "I'm your berry fodguther." And Rindercella said, can I go to the ball?" And the berry said, "Well, that's a big wish, but you can go." So she waved her magic wand, and instantly Rindercella was transformed into a Babishing Rudy. She wore a long white gatton sound and a necklace of poopies and rurls. And on her feet were two slash gippers. So when she cast to the camel, that came to the castle, the first pooteeple she ran into were the two sisty ugglers. And Rindercella was so beautiful they didn't cinderize Reginella. So they introduced her to the Pransome Hints, and he said, "May I dab this hands? You are so beautiful, you remind me of Bleeping Slooty." And he was just about to ask for her hand in marriage when suddenly the clock truck swelled, and Rindercella banned from the roll. But as she did so, one of the slash gippers flipped from her soot, and the Pransome Hints picked it up and said, "Now all I have to do is find the woman whose soot this flipper sits, and then I'll know who I've lollen in fub with." So he went from house to house, and you can't turn that around. And pretty soon he came to a hiddle house where Rindercella lived, and he docked on the door. And who should come to the door but the two sisty ugglers? But of course, their beat were too fig. But then it was Rindercella's turn, and guess what? The flipper pitted surfically. They were married and happed lively ever after.